Hi, my name is Max, and I'm a 15-year-old makeup artist. Makeup has been my passion for about 3 years now. I started in August of 2015, so 3 years exactly. And it is just something that is amazing. It's something that can really express who you are on the inside. It's a whole art. Around this time last year, I decided that teaching makeup is a really fun thing to do, so I started a YouTube channel, and my name is just Max Born, Maxborn. So if you want to check that out, then go ahead.
Hello and welcome to another Ask Nerida Joy video. I have a new model here with me today and his name is Max, and we are going to look at Max's skin. Max is 15. We're going to look at Max's skin under here. He has a gorgeous face here that I've always loved and admired how he does his makeup. But what I want to do is I want to be able to take it off and have a look at his skin underneath. I know because I saw in one of his videos that he did on his YouTube channel, I saw that his skin underneath was really quite irritated and quite ruddy. So because Max is a good friend of my daughter's, I asked him if he would mind coming on, and so we could have a look at his skin and talk about his skin. I have a lot of people out there asking me, for teenagers, just how to take care of their skin and what's a really simple regimen that they can do at home, and also what ingredients are really good for kids to use at home, because some ingredients are just too strong. So we want to cleanse off his skin and have a look under the Maggie lamp, and that's what we're going to do right now. So we're going to get started. So I'm cleansing off Max's skin with the gel cleanser, and we're going to have to do it a couple of times because he's got quite a bit of makeup on, so we want to do it a couple of times so we've got a really clean skin to start and to be able to diagnose. Now remember, when you're cleansing your skin, it's really important to do those circular motions. So we need to get under any fine facial hair on the sides of the face that all of us have, so we're really cleansing the skin well, and that will help the skin. It's going to help the skin to absorb whatever you put on the skin thereafter, but it's just really important to keep it clean so it doesn't get congested. I saw in one of Max's videos that he was doing that he said his skin gets really red and irritated, and I was shocked when I saw the video because I had never seen it like that before. So that's why it's great for us to have a look and see what's going on here with his skin so we can talk about it. I'm going to use the sponges up around his eyes just to clean off there but not mess up those lashes. Just so we can get very close up under Max's eye, just to remove the makeup that's very close by his lash. I'm just using a Q-tip. It's slightly dampened. You want to make sure it's slightly dampened because a lot of the fibers from cotton and Q-tips, you don't want to get them caught in the lashes, because lashes, there's nothing more annoying to someone who wears the false eyelashes to have bits of cotton there. It sticks like crazy. So we're going to do one more cleanse, and that's with, again, the gel cleanser. We can really see how ruddy Max is underneath this cleanser too on his cheek area. You know, he's got really good skin. Like his quality, his texture in his skin is really good. But what I'm seeing that he has, I can see he's probably got those little bumps on the backs of his arms, the tops of his arms, which is KP, keratosis pilaris. But I'm going to have a look in a moment because I can see that it's so nice working on a skin so young, because their skin is so firm. It doesn't even move. It's amazing. I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. And we're just cleansing and making sure we're doing a really good job in taking off all that makeup. So we've cleansed Max's skin off twice. I'm going to put the goggles on. I just want to have a look at his skin, bring the Maggie lamp over, have a quick look at his skin. As I said, the quality, just close your eyes for me, Max, thank you. The quality of his skin is so good in that he has a really good skin, but I can tell his skin's gritty. So I want to check out his décolleté, his arms a little bit to see if he has any keratosis pilaris. So I've looked at Max's skin under the Maggie lamp, and what I'm seeing here is his skin is congested. He's got a few blackheads, not an abundance, but his skin, it's a little congested. And I want to do some cleaning on him, some extractions today. I'm going to just have a look and see if he has keratosis. He has got keratosis, those little bumps on his arm, so that would mean that he would be a little bit sensitive to sugar. He has to be careful with his sugar. Sugar is something that will affect his skin. The other thing that I see on Max's face is it has a lot of color on his cheeks. He's very ruddy. We've just cleansed twice with a gentle cleanser. And I've known, because he's also verbalized this a lot on his channel, that he gets really red in the cheeks. So what I would recommend for Max, because he does have a little heat in his skin, is that he does stay away from the nightshade foods, which is your tomatoes is the big one, because it does create inflammation in the skin. So there are certain foods that just don't work for some people. The niacinamides, your peppers, your spicy tomatoes, these types of things, they cause a lot of inflammation. And on someone like Max, even though he's young, he's only 15, it is still a problem for him, and he's going to have to watch that throughout his life. So the ruddiness, I can feel heat in his skin. I haven't even massaged his skin much. I've just cleansed it twice. I have not done an exfoliant on him, but he has heat in his skin. He also has keratosis pilaris, and he not only has it on his arms, he has it on his chest a little bit as well, as I can see and I can feel it. And that is those tiny little bumps that you get on the tops of the backs of the arms. We know that a dermatologist, they will say you can use an acid, one of your alpha hydroxy acids, that will absorb and try to keep it as smooth as possible. Some people will recommend a scrub, that you use a scrub, but sometimes the scrubs are very drying and they don't necessarily make it better. So I like to use something more like the exfoliating mask that has that buffing effect on the epidermis, and it's going to leave the skin a lot smoother. So in face mapping, this area to me is the pancreas, and what that means is that I know that even though Max may not have sugar diabetes when he's older, he does have to be careful with sugar, because sugar doesn't work for his body type. So that means that he just needs to be cautious. And because I'm someone who's an educator in the business, and I like to tell my clients as much as I possibly can, because I've been doing this for 40 years, I want them to, they come to see me to help their skin be better. As all USDs out there, we all know we're in the business to try and help people understand their skin and help them understand what products they need to use on their skin to make their skin better and take it to that next level. So what I am going to say to Max is that I would like for him to just be conscious of his sugar intake, and that he needs to stay away from those foods that I mentioned, which is the tomatoes, the spicy, the peppers. These types of foods are not great for his body type, okay? So we're going to now do an exfoliation on his skin. His skin's a little bit surface dry, but generally he has a really good skin. It's just a little congested. Now, I know if he stopped eating sugar, and I don't even know how much sugar Max eats, but if he stopped or cut back a lot, his skin will be better too, as well as this keratosis pilaris will get a lot better on his body. So we're going to do an exfoliating mask. This one here, as you know, has a papaya enzyme. It has a little lemon peel powder. It has a little bit of glycolic in it. I did mix a little bit of healing gel with it because Max is sensitive, his skin. He's got heat in his skin. I don't want it to burn and fry his skin. I just want to do a little exfoliation just before we get going with some extractions. Now, what I'm going to do on him is I'm going to put it down onto his chest a little bit where he has his KP, and I'm also going to put it down onto his arms. On his face, I did the exfoliator, but I mixed a little healing gel with it. On his arms and his décolleté, I am not going to be mixing healing gel. I wanted the stronger version, so we are going to put this down here where he has KP. A lot of people that have KP, they also get it on the tops of their legs, on their thighs. So it's very common. It doesn't mean anything bad or dangerous in that You know, it's not going to make him sick, or, you know, as you know, a lot of people have KP. It's just that it's a pain because, you know, for people that like to wear short little dresses with the tops, they're showing the shoulders, people that have KP, they often feel embarrassed because they have the little bumps. So it's nice to have it under control and to keep it as best as possible. So if you cut out on the sugar or cut back on the sugar, he will notice an improvement with his KP. I actually used to have it when I was a lot younger as well. My father was, back in the war, very sensitive and to sugar as well. He did not develop sugar diabetes, but it was an alarming thing for him for a short time, and so it is in my family as well. And I did have it for probably about 15 years myself, and I do like sugar. I have a little bit. I don't have KP anymore. I haven't had a lot for a long time, but I certainly do. I love pastries, actually. That's my thing, pastries. So we're going to get ready to take that off, and I'm going to get some clean water. Okay, so we are back. We've got the exfoliating mask on Max's face. The exfoliating mask we mixed with a little bit of healing gel because his skin is sensitive. He has that heat in his skin, and we talked about certain foods that we want him to stay off, which is the tomatoes, the peppers. He needs to stay off those the niacinamides, things that are going to help to stimulate. Spicy, that's not going to be good for Max. We all have our different body types and foods. Some foods support some people and some others, and it's just the way it is. So Max also has keratosis pilaris, which are all those little tiny bumps. So Max has it here. We put the exfoliating mask without mixing it with healing gel here because I want it to be quite strong on his décolleté area and his arms where he has the keratosis pilaris. So when I've said this in the past about keratosis pilaris there is a sensitivity to sugar. Now, that does not mean that you're going to have sugar diabetes when you get older. It just means that you have a sensitivity. And we are talking about the processed, the white sugars, that are not great. And what I usually say to somebody is if you have keratosis pilaris, look at a diet for someone who has diabetes, the types of things that they can eat. That's a good way to go and to work from that. So as I said, it's more the processed sugars that are really are not great because we just don't work with them as well in the body. And so that is something that Max will also have to be careful as he gets older. But now we're going to take this off. It's the exfoliating mask that we're removing. And I'm going to use a cooler sponge on his face because he has a lot of color. His face is very sensitive, and the skin on his face. Okay, so we remove the exfoliating mask off his face. I'm now going to remove the exfoliating mask off his décolleté and the tops of his arms. So we removed the exfoliating mask. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work in a little bit of healing gel into his skin for a moment before we start with the steam. His skin feels so much better just from doing that. And I want to work in a little bit of the Q-flavonoid because it really helps support those capillaries and it helps with the sensitivity of the skin. So I'm only going to be massaging his skin for about 5 minutes. For all you Esties out there, you all know what I'm talking about. It's our tools. It's great when you have great products that you know you can really pinpoint specific conditions with people and work with it and see such great results. It's such a rewarding, wonderful business that we work in, and we can do so many wonderful things for people and helping them with their skin. And our products are a big part of that. So we not only want to know what our products, all the great things that our products do for the skin, but we want to sort of really understand what certain ingredients and how they work and support the skin for our future. Because we want people to be able to, we're all living longer. We want people to have a fabulous skin when they're in their 80s and 90s and feeling their skin is firm and healthy and hydrated, and we want to support all those years. Okay, so we've worked in the Q and a little bit of healing gel. Do a little bit on his forehead. Now, what's really important for someone like Max is that because I can see that his skin can start to be a little bit pitted, and his skin can start to scar from his pimples, he needs to start feeding it a little bit, and that's what that Q flavonoid does. It feeds the skin nutrients, so it helps the skin to heal quickly. So, when people, because he's only 15, as he gets older, his scarring is going to leave little marks on his skin because his skin needs to be fed nutrients a little bit. Not anything heavy, not anything overnourishing, but just nutrients that are going to help feed his skin so that it heals quickly. And that's things like arnica and vitamin K and things that support your blood vessels, but also support the quality of the skin that really, I always say, it just feeds it a lot of nutrients. And there are a lot of really, like vitamin C's. Vitamin C's are great, but they're not for everybody. Some people are very sensitive to vitamin C's. They're a great free radical fighter, but then it's just not for everybody. So in my business, about 10% of my clients actually probably are allergic to vitamin C's. And it doesn't matter what brand, it's just the way it is. So that's why for certain people, and even problematic acne skins, a lot of these people, I'm taking them off citrus. So I don't have them have orange juice and things at home either. But some people are very sensitive to vitamin C's. And sometimes when I get people in that say to me, I can't use any alpha hydroxy acids on my face because I'm allergic, it's often because they've used an alpha hydroxy acid that has the molecule, the citric molecule, because as we know, you've got different molecules in your alpha hydroxy acid groups. You've got your glycolic, your lactic, your malic, your tartaric, and citrus. Now, citrus is the largest molecule, and it's often very irritating. So it's important that you understand that you could be sensitive to the citric molecule of an alpha hydroxy acid, but not sensitive to the lactic or the glycolic molecule, which means that you're not really allergic to all alpha hydroxy acids. So formulas are very interesting in that you can change things. That's why knowing your chemist is really important, and how he works with his delivery systems. All of these things are really important. So a vitamin C in one brand may not work for you, but that does not mean that a vitamin C in another brand will also be a problem, because it all depends on the formulas, the delivery systems, whether he's derived his vitamin C from the ascorbic side of vitamin C or whether it is the magnesium side of the vitamin C. There's different parts to it all, and you can be allergic to one and not the other. So do be open-minded and understand that it's what's right for one. It's it may not be right in another brand. So the reason I'm saying more about this too is because I have a lot of people, they email me or they ask me questions and say, is it okay if I use this particular vitamin C on my skin? And to be honest with you, the truth is I don't know, because there are so many different products out there and you have to try, and I only know what I work with. So if you're asking me about another brand, if I haven't worked with it, I really don't know the formulas, I don't know the chemists, and it's really hard for me to say. So the only things that I really guarantee, because I know, because I've worked with them for so long, is the products that I use. So when you ask me something about a particular brand, I just need you to understand that it, number one, it depends on your skin. So if you send me photos, then that's much easier for me to see where your skin's at and what you need. And number two, just know that I don't know all the products out there, and I don't know how they're developed, and unless I feel them and touch them and work with them, I really don't know. So I just need you to understand that what I know is what I use, and it's very easy for me to prescribe from what I use. But if you're asking me about other brands that I've never used, I don't know. So please understand that it's not that black and white, because products are all very different. So here we have, I've worked in a little bit of the Q flavonoid and some healing gel into Max's skin for 5 minutes, because I just wanted to help with his sensitivity, just to feed it a little bit. I had said that, if we want to feed his skin just lightly with nutrients, he doesn't need to be doing a lot on his skin. He's got really good skin, but I just want to protect his skin so that he doesn't get those marks that are going to stay and last a long time, which is what we call scarring. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to steam his skin. I'm going to do a light extraction on his skin, and we'll be back shortly once I've done that. Okay, so we are back. I have just finished extracting Max's skin. It took me probably close to 15 minutes. And what I will say is the areas where he had larger blackheads was up around his eyes, where he's sort of putting concealer probably a little bit heavier there, and on his nose. So what I would say to Max is that going forward, that when he uses concealers, he needs to maybe just really look at the ingredients to make sure that what he's using isn't comedogenic. And again, it's trial and error on everybody, but because of the quantity that he uses to cover, he's using it quite heavy. So I would suggest that he try to look for either a mineral brand, something that's really going to be better in that it's not going to clog his pores more. We did a lot of extractions on him. You can see he's quite spotty on his forehead, but the places where he had the larger blackheads that were the larger ones from, I can tell from makeup, was up here, very close up under the eyes, either side of the nose, very large blackheads that really took a little bit to get out. But this up here was minimal compared to the size of the blackheads around the nose and the under the eye area. So we've done the extractions on Max's skin. I used a little bit of refreshener on his skin, the areas where he was more congested, and I'm going to suggest to him that he maybe try to look at other makeups that are not comedogenic. He's got some congestion here. The areas where he's really heavier on his concealer is up around his eyes and either side of his nose, and that's where those blackheads were, that were the really large blackheads that we extracted. His skin's a little spotty. It's going to take a couple of days for it to heal, and I'm going to use a little bit of retinol on him right now, very mild. Add a little bit of healing gel to it, just work it into the skin for a minute just to help with the healing before we put the mask on. Okay, we've got the purifying mask. I've got a very small amount of retinol on his skin mixed with a little bit of healing gel. I'm now adding the purifying mask, again mixed with a little bit of healing gel. Retinols are not necessarily something that I would say that Max should be using at home. As we know, he's 15, and retinols in a very mild form could be used every so often on him, but in a very mild form. So I'm going to give Max things like a really good cleanser. I'm going to show him how to cleanse his skin really well at night, and I'm going to give him an exfoliant. So he's keeping his skin really clean because he uses a heavier makeup. He needs to really keep his skin clean, and that's very important to him. So I'm going to make sure he's got everything he needs for his home care cleansing. Then I'm going to give him some of the healing gel, which I use and talk about a lot in my treatments. And he doesn't need a lot of moisture, he just needs healing. So we're going to give him the healing gel. I'm going to give him a mask that he can use also on his skin, and a very, very light, non-comedogenic moisturizer. He doesn't need a lot, just a few items. I'm going to give him a little bit of the Q-flavonoid, just so he can use it every so often. He doesn't have to use it. He shouldn't use it every night, but if he could use it 2 times a week, I just would like for him to start working on his cheeks where he's more ruddy, and also it's going to help with the healing of his spots and things that we've extracted today. So I'm adding a little bit more of the mask in here as I'm working it into the skin. And this again is the purifying mask. I'm not going to let it dry on his skin, but I'm just going to work it in for a minute. And once I've worked it in, I'm going to get some ice and ice his skin down because of the extractions. So we have the purifying mask on Max's skin with a little bit of healing gel. I layered it twice on his skin, and I've got some little disposable ice packs here. I'm going to be icing his face and just calming his skin down because we did some extractions, and ice is so healing. When clients text me and they say they've got a pimple or something's come up somewhere on the skin, I always tell them make sure they ice. And if they put the ice on their skin, they hold it on for 10 seconds, take it off, then repeat it, put it on for another 10 seconds. And this is something that's really good for them to do with a pimple. So sometimes when people don't have little spot treatments at home, just ice it and do it 3 times. 10 seconds on, take it off, 10 seconds on again, take it off, and 10 seconds on again. And that's what I recommend for pimples. So it's very healing. Okay, we're going to take this off now. And Max had some quite large blackheads around his nose area that we talked about. So, so I iced it a little bit more around the nose area. So we've cleansed off Max's skin. We've done an exfoliant on him. We also exfoliated his décolleté and his arms where he had the keratosis pilaris. We've worked in some of the flavonoid and healing gel into his skin. And I put just a mild amount of retinol on his skin after we did all the extractions. So we removed some quite large blackheads that were a little tough around the nose area. His nose is going to be feeling a little sensitive. His skin will be, but his skin will be great in a couple of days once it's healed. And we've done the purifying mask. And now this is the healing gel that's going on his skin. And he's good to go. It's quite late here at night, so he will be going to bed as is. And this was another fun video. We hope Max will be back to see us again in a month and just show us how he's doing with his home care regimen, because I will be giving him just some items that he needs to do, quite simple items at home: cleansing, a healing gel, an exfoliating product, and just a light moisturizer that he'll be able to use on his skin on a daily basis. So we are all done. I'm excited to see Max in a month. And thank you again for watching another Ask Nerida Joy video. And we'll thank you, Max, for coming here and being here with us today. And we'll be back soon. Bye-bye.